just for a piece of bread. He was sentenced to 19 years in prison, every day soaked in water doing the hardest labor. This day he was finally released, but the warden still wouldn't let him go, made him carry a several hundred-pound flagpole by himself. Jack exerted all his strength and a miracle happened. He actually carried the flagpole to the warden. The warden reluctantly handed over the release order, but Jack noticed something was wrong. The yellowed paper marked him as a dangerous individual. This so-called freedom was just parole. He had to report to the police station every week. Jack was furious. He was originally sentenced to 5 years, but the warden kept targeting him, eventually extending it to 19 years. Now even after release he couldn't get true freedom. He despised Warden Javert, but still gritted his teeth and took that release order. But what he didn't know was, the outside world was even more cruel. He searched everywhere for work, but no one would hire him. He wanted to beg for food in town, but was driven away by adults. Snow began falling from the sky. Jack was cold and hungry, could only spend the night by a tombstone. But suddenly, a priest appeared before him. This wasn't a cemetery, but the churchyard. The priest invited him into the church to escape the storm, even prepared abundant food for him, and a warm bed. However, Jack was already filled with despair about the world. He stole valuable items from the church, escaped under cover of night, but before he could sell the items, he was caught by police again. The police asked the priest to identify his crimes, but the priest said these were all gifts for him, then picked up expensive candlesticks from the table. Said Jack left in a hurry, forgot to take the most valuable things. The police had no choice but to untie him. The priest quietly advised Jack to use these silver items well, to become an honest and upright person. This touched Jack's heart. Over 20 years of injustice and suffering had made him completely lose hope in the world. But the priest at the edge of the cliff grabbed his soul that was about to fall. 8 years flashed by. Jack had changed tremendously. He became Madeleine, used the silver from the priest to establish a factory, had great prestige locally, even became mayor. But the world was still cruel. The poor still lived without enough food. Homeless people were everywhere on the streets. Jack could only use his modest power to try saving more people. But even so, workers still competed against each other. A female worker named Lisa was bullied by others because she was beautiful. Jack was about to mediate when he looked up and saw a familiar face. He had the foreman handle the workers' conflict while he gathered his courage to go upstairs and meet Warden Javert. But Javert didn't recognize him. He had been transferred to this city, becoming the police chief under Jack. Just felt Jack was very familiar, like an old acquaintance he had met. Jack was terrified, didn't dare look at him too long, but then an accident happened outside that nearly exposed Jack's identity.